Today we're tying a flashy variation of my corn-fed midge. So over the past few weeks we've had a pretty spectacular midge hatch, including our buffalo midges out here on our local Utah rivers. The dry fly action has been really good, and I've been throwing a lot of my original corn-fed midge, and it's been doing great. But I came up with this variation that I'm calling the flashy corn-fed midge, and it matches the emergers a little bit better because it's got a trailing shuck and kind of has that sparkle that a lot of the emerging midges have. So this is a good one to have alongside the original, and I encourage you to tie a few up. If you're not a fly tyer and still want to pick up this pattern, it's available in my store for purchase. So in the vise I have a Firehole 419 dry fly hook. This one is a size 20. I'm going to be tying in my materials with SemperFli Nano Silk 30 denier thread. This is black. We're going to take our thread down into the end of the straight shank part of the hook and then tie in a piece of pearl crystal flash. This kind of gives the effect of Midge's trailing shuck, and is part of why it matches the emergers a little bit better. Adds a little flash to get their attention too. For ribbing, I'm going to tie in a piece of polar flash. This is pearl blue. We'll just get it attached to the hook and then tie back to our end point. Bring your thread forward, and then I like to use my rotary function when ribbing this fly. The polar flash is a little slippery and it's kind of tough to get perfectly even wraps with hand ribbing. So I like to use a rotary function for this specific material. It is slippery, so I'm being careful to make sure I lock it in. Kind of getting poorly on me here. We'll then fold it over and secure it by taking thread wraps back over it, about a third of the way down the hook. You can kind of see how the blue pearl tinsel adds a little bit of sparkle and flash to the body of the fly. Next, we're going to tie in our wing. I'm going to use a single dark dun CDC feather. This is a Swiss CDC. I want the wing to be extend to about the end of the bend of the hook. This one's a little long, so I'm going to pull it back into the orientation I want. On top of it, I'm going to tie in a light dun CDC feather and put it in the same orientation. I really prefer Swiss CDC or Trout Hunter CDC feathers. Their products are just a little more premium than their competitors, and they'll help float your fly. So this one's just a touch too long, so I'm going to pull it to length. Once it's in the proper orientation, lock it in and then snip off the butt ends. It helps here to have a very sharp pair of scissors, so you don't leave too much bulk from where you snipped it off. Bring your thread up to the base of the wing, and then give it a counterclockwise spin to uncord the thread. We're going to be using a split thread dubbing loop technique. I'm prepping a CDC feather here. This is another dark dun one. I'm snipping the fibers to length and then putting it into a material clip. And then cutting the fibers away from the stem. That's about how many fibers I like for my size 20s. Now we're gonna split our thread to create our dubbing loop, and then put the material clip and fibers inside of it. Remember to keep tension on your thread when you trap your fibers so they don't go anywhere. You can kind of center them and move them into place, and then give it a clockwise spin under tension to cord it back up and trap the fibers. Next, wrap our CDC hackle forward towards the eye. With each wrap, start preening the fibers back so they don't get all caught up and trapped under the next wrap. This will help you keep a cleaner area around the eye of the hook. Then go and do a 5 or 6 turn whip finish. This is a little midge-sized whip finish tool. It's fantastic for these small flies. Highly recommend it. So go ahead and seat your knot, and then snip off your thread. I've got a few unruly fibers up near the eye of the hook, so I'm going to snip them out and clean it up. Next, kind of preen the fibers back into a hackle-like position, and then snip them to length to create kind of a hackle effect. These fibers will give the impression of legs and movement. And you can see by looking under the midge, it really does look like a midge from below. Once you're happy with your hackle, go ahead and snip off your Krystal Flash trailing shuck. That one's a little too long. I like him about the length of the body. So that looks good. And there's your corn-fed midge. I encourage you to tie up a few and try it out on your midge hatches and see if you can move some fish on top. If you're not a tyer, you can pick them up in my store in the link down below. Anyways, let's move on to some fish catches. Alright, I've thrown on one of my experimental midges just to see if I can get one to come up for it. There we go. Oh, come on, net it. Here's my net. That's a pretty big bow. It's a nice bow. Pictures there. Alright, let's see if I can pick off this one that's right in front of me here. Yes! Oh, what a nice brown. Come on, guy. Come back around, don't go down there. Yes! What a dry fly fish, man. That corn-fed midge. That is awesome. Anyway, if you enjoyed this fly tying tutorial, please like the video down below, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, consider subscribing. And go check out my store if you want to pick it up. Thanks for watching and stay safe.